friends, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. My name's Cece, and today we are doing an update on my Beauty A to Z project. I know you guys have just kind of recently seen an update on this project, but it was filmed way earlier, and then I did not get it edited and put up until a couple weeks ago. However, I have had a lot of progress since I filmed that, since it has been quite a while, and I really want to show you guys my progress because I'm running out of space in my drawer. This drawer right here is where I keep all of my items that are in a project and then I've finished, and it was full. It was like brimming with palettes, and I have other projects I'm working on too, so I needed to clear that out. So here we are. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm very excited to be showing you all of this today and then be able to get these things back into my cabinets. If you are new here, I made this kind of the biggest challenge of the year for myself. This project is one in which you choose a product for every letter of the alphabet, and then you set your goals, whether you want to finish it or you have a usage goal or a pan goal. I decided that for each letter of the alphabet, I was going to choose one of my brands of eyeshadow, from which I may have one palette or I may have multiple palettes. And my goal for each of those palettes is to use them no pan left behind. That means I have to use every single eyeshadow shade in the palette before I can roll it out of the project. So I ended up with over 80 palettes because I was overambitious. But it is a goal of mine to have usage on every palette in my collection and have them all no pan left behind. So it is really helping me to keep track and keep on schedule with that goal. So here we are. All right, as of my last update, I had already finished my A, B, C, and D brands. My E brand is e.l.f. and I did have a few things left. I actually think I forgot to show you this one in the last update. This is the e.l.f. Creamsicle Bite Size palette, and I had finished this. I just didn't put it in the update. So there it is. It is done and it's going back in the cabinet. I also finished up the Carnival Candy. So I had not used the blue in here because if you know me, I hate blues on my eyes. I hate them. But I finally did use that in a very blue look that I did not venture outside wearing because I hated it so much. But those are done. And that means I only have one e.l.f. palette left to meet my goal on. It is the e.l.f. Chipotle palette. And I have used 6 of these shades. And then I have these 2 and then the bottom row left. These aren't shades I hate, but every time I think of this palette, I think of the greens. And therefore I forget that there are things in here that I can and should use and will enjoy more than I think I will. So that is going to be a goal for me this month, is to get this out of the project, because I have finished my G palette. So I want to, have the beginning of the alphabet done together. So as I'm saying, my Glaminatrix Nearly Neutral palette is finished. Not sure I truly understand the hype on this. I mean, these look beautiful when you swatch them. Does that translate as well to the eyes? Maybe not for me. I do have kind of hooded eyes. They're a bit oily. So my shimmer shades crease and run away from me. But this is a very expensive palette that I paid for, so it's staying in my collection and I will be getting more use out of it. Moving on to H, that is Huda, and this is an undertaking because I have a lot of Huda palettes that I honestly was just buying and buying without ever actually knowing if I liked Huda's formula. I just thought they were pretty. Turns out I don't like Huda as much as I thought I would. Since the last update, I have finished the gold palette, which looks like this. I have not finished the Nude Rich, but I have decided I am going to declutter it rather than use it. These are not my favorite shades, and they are represented in other palettes that I have from Huda, so there is no reason for me to keep this. It is going to go on my Poshmark. I have also finished the Pastels Lilac, which also isn't really in my range of favorite shades, but I made it work. And the Pastels Rose. Again, not very me, but I made it work. These are not finished, but I just wanted to let you know I have good progress on them. The Nude Medium, I only need to use one more shade on, which is right there, the middle shade. And the Tiger Wild Obsessions, I have 4 left on, which is the 4 shimmers. What do you know? I am 100% a matte girl at heart. This one is an accomplishment I am particularly proud of. I finished my Mercury retrograde. I will say I absolutely loved the purples in here. Made excellent looks, great formula. The blues, no, hated them, but I did manage to use them. This is a palette that I was kind of on the edge last year during my declutter, whether I wanted to keep it or not. I was thinking I wanted to depot it then. I still want to depot it, but it is plastic. I'm not sure I want to do that. So it's going to be sticking around, and I'll have to think about that some more. I have not started my Naughty palette or my Warm Matte palette, but everything else is pretty close there, as you can see. I was for Iconic London, and I have 4 palettes from them. So I finished the Beachside Babe, which again has some greeny teals in it. I did manage to make those work because the rest of the palette is so me. So that'll be staying in my collection. This was a beast. This is the Iconic Day to Slay eyeshadow palette. It's a lot. It's a lot. It is 20 shades, I believe. Yeah, it's 20 shades. Lots of shimmers. They're all very similar. I did finish it. I did. And in the process of using this, I did decide I'm going to declutter it because these are boring. I have these shades so many times in my collection, and it's not something I'm ever going to really want to pan. So I'm going to pass this one on. I also started on the Multi-Icon palette. This is just 7 really cute shades. I ended up using these 3 in a look, and so I have the 4 left over here to finish up. And interestingly enough, I was kind of on the edge about keeping this palette because 2 or 3 of the shades exist in the Day to Slay palette. This is the Soft and Smoky palette. It's just a cute little quad. I did use these as well. Very light colors, not too much pigment, but I have decided I will keep this one since I'm getting rid of the Day to Slay. So I'm happy about that. This is way cuter and more compact and usable, in my opinion, than the other. Moving on to J, I have 2 Jane Iredale palettes, and I have finished up the first one, which is the Naturally Matte. Very simple palette. Very simple. Some of these seem more like satins to me than mattes, but that's okay. I also started on the Naturally Glam palette, and let's see, I have used these first 2 lighter shades, and so I have 4 more shimmers to get through to finish up that. I still haven't started on either of my Ks, which are from Kaleidos. For L, I had already been working on the Laura Geller The Delectables palette, and I had 2 shades left in here to use. I used one of them today, the Night Sky shade. So I still have this Sage shade I have been avoiding. Greens aren't really my thing any more than blues are. I can wear them and feel a little more comfortable. But yeah, still have that Sage hanging on. And then I have the Champagne Cheers palette I haven't started yet. For M, I have Milk Cosmetics, and I still have 2 shades left in my brunette palette to finish up, and once those are out, then I'm done with my M's. That brings us to N, which is the worst. It is literally the worst. It is my Natasha Denona collection, which is another brand I bought a ton of without using enough to really know if I loved it. I don't love Natasha Denona as much as I thought I did. I honestly don't. Their shimmers are not what they look like when they're swatched, in my opinion, on my eyes. Everyone's eyes are different. Everyone's opinion is different about makeup. So I still have a lot to do. I have finished 1, 2, 3, 4 baby palettes. I have finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mini palettes before this update. And I am adding one more to that. I had 2 shades left in this one that I had not gotten to before, but I have finally. This is the mini star, so it is being added to the finished pile. I still have 3 full-size 5 pans to get through, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mini palettes I haven't started, which are the 15 pan smaller palettes. I did start on the Glam palette, and I am very close on I Need a Nude. That is the only one I really can say I have progress on. I have 3 shades left in it. So I have the Ella and the Filigree and Mia. So 2 that look pretty similar, and then 1 cute little pink down there. I can finish that up easily. It's the other 6 middies that I need to start that are going to take me a while. Yeah. Moving on to O, I have 1 Odin's Eye palette. This is the Alva eyeshadow palette, and I started it. I did use this once, and I used 4 of the shades, which are here, 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 and here. This palette does not really grab my attention. I'm not sure I will end up keeping this one. I may end up depotting it and keeping some of the shades that I do enjoy, but I have a few more uses to get through in order to get this out of the project and make that decision. My P I had previously finished. That was Patrick Ta, and I only have 1 palette from him. Q is already out of here. That was an eye cream that did not end up working for me. R is Rude Cosmetics, and I have 1 palette in this project, the United Peachy Nudes. I have started working on this, and I have 8 more shades to go. I do not ever use glitters, so these are not included in those 8 shades. I will not use these. I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of them, like maybe pour glue over them, because why introduce more glitter into the atmosphere, the environment, than needs to be. S is for Sigma, and I had 3 palettes in this project. I have decided to declutter one of them. It is the Magnifique palette, which is purpley and not a purple gal. So I kept in my Cor de Rosa and my Sigma Untamed, and I have had 2 uses on each of them, so I still have some more work to do, but progress. For T, I chose my Too Faced palettes, and I have some good progress on the Light My Fire. I have 2 shades left to use in here, which are the Yellow Matte, which I love, and a Pink Matte. Not really my thing, but just 2 shades left there. Salted Caramel I haven't started yet, so I need to get on this one. However, I only needed 2 uses for the Papaya Pop. I used all of them in one look except for the orange, and that one I used in a separate look. I was already finished with my Born This Way Sunset Stripped palette, so the only one I have left after those is Pumpkin Spice for Too Faced. And I'm happy to say I have started on it. I have 2 uses on here, and I have 10 more shades to go. I'm really intrigued by this deep purple, even though purples aren't really my favorite. A deep outer corner purple I feel like could be fun. U is for Urban Decay, and I had 2 palettes in this project. I have the Naked Cyber, nobody's favorite. However, I kind of enjoyed using this. I did finish up all the shades, and that's going back on my shelf. And I also finished all of the Petite Heat shades. Apparently I did this all in one look, which makes sense because it's a nice gradient there. The Cyber took me 5 different eyeshadow looks to use. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting near the end. We are on to V, which is Busy Art. So, since our last update, I finished the Neutral Matte. It was not hard to use these at all. Definitely shades I enjoy. And I finished the Petites Mattes Warmed. Again, mattes and warm mattes are very much up my alley. So this one is done as well. I am getting very close on my Paris Love Letters. I have 2 shades left in here, which are the green and the purple. Surprise, surprise. Then I do have some progress on my Petites Shimmers Sultry Muse. I've used 5 of these out of the 12, and that took me 3 looks. But yeah, it's not my favorite. Another brand that I have heard so many amazing things about, and it's just not living up to the hype for me. Their shimmers don't do it for me. W is for Well People. I only have one Well People palette, but I absolutely love this. It is so pigmented. It is so fun to use. This is the Sepia palette. Very me. I ended up using it in one look, and it is out of here. My X I still haven't touched. I did not have any X brands to use, so I ended up pulling in a lipstick from Smashbox with that X at the end, and I plan to use this 10 times. The shade is First Time, and I have not yet used it for the first time, so gotta get going on that one. That's what I said in my last video. My Y was already finished before this update, and my Z is the last thing to update you on. So I had 3 Zoeva mini palettes, and I have used all 3 of these. I am cautiously optimistic that I may get this project done. I have been calculating how many pans, like shades, I still need to use, and I am down to 250. And with the number of days left in the year, I would need to use 1.9 shades per day in order to meet that goal. I have significantly decreased that amount since my last update. I don't think I gave you the math then, but I had written it down. And at that time, I needed to use 3 to 4 shades a day to finish. Fortunately, I've been using like 5 or 6 in an eyeshadow look, so doing pretty well. However, I believe I have 32 palettes left to get through. I'm gonna check that and let you know. It's actually 31 palettes, so that's slightly better, right? 31 palettes still to get through before the end of the year, and it is almost September. But wish me luck, guys. This has become my major focus of the year. I really, really have enjoyed this. I am happy that I have a job that I can wear a little bit more creative eye looks to now, because that would have been pretty hard at my previous job, which may be why I started out so bad at the beginning of the year, because I didn't switch jobs until May. But very happy with my progress. I hope you guys are too. If you enjoyed this update, please let me know by leaving some comments down below and giving this video a thumbs up. And feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. I'd love to have you around for my panning journey. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. Bye. For T, I chose my Too Faced palettes, and I have good progress on the Salted Caramel. I have 2 shades left in here I need to use. Is that right? No, that's a lie.